Alrighty, folks, we need to have a conversation about home prices and specifically why haven't home prices crashed yet? Are home prices set up to crash? I think my answer may surprise you, but you know what? We're going to bring it on the one and only and lovely Casey from Brick by Brick Wealth to have this discussion. Casey, how you doing?
I'm doing really good today. Thanks, Michael.
I think this is an important conversation. I think there's a lot of people that have been disappointed with my call for a transaction crash and not a price crash. But my call was always about it's not going to crash yet, right? People were calling for a crash too soon. Prices are sticky. There's this thing called inelasticity. People didn't get it. So let's talk about prices crashing in the future. Are they set up to crash? Do you see the dominoes falling in a way that would ultimately lead to a 20+% crash in home prices? What say you?
I think, I still think that there are two different real estate markets out there. There is the above the median market, and then there is the entry level, under $200,000 market that still cash flows. And this would be for single family, just putting that
Sure.
out there. So my opinion is, at least, so I help investors all over the country, and most of them are buying, single family, maybe up to fourplex, but a lot of them are buying single family investment properties.
Hmm.
And we are still seeing a very competitive market. I know I look at some higher end markets and stuff slowing down, million
Yeah.
dollar stuff slowing down. But the cheaper stuff is still going. Now, the
Yeah.
ones that, like you say, need some rehab, it's getting a little bit funner for us as buyers
Yeah.
because sellers are doing some work for us. They're giving us some seller credits. They're sitting on the market a little bit longer. And yes, the ones that are all ready to go are flying quickly. But for the most part, the houses under 200 are still moving fast, and we're not seeing huge price drops. We're hardly seeing any price drops. If anything, sometimes prices will go up. And
Yeah.
my
Crazy.
reasoning for that, why I think that is so, is because, first of all, there's always investors in every tiny city, in every state in the country, probably in the world. And if it cash flows, it will be bought. Investors are looking for ways to make money. And if you're in a market that has cash flow potential, first time home buyers are wanting to buy it, and so are investors. And first time home buyers that are buying entry level homes, they don't have an old mortgage to save. They're not saying, oh, I can't leave my 4% mortgage to buy a new house. They've been renting, they are college graduate. And this is their first property. And they've already been waiting for probably a year or so. First, it was the pandemic and the economy is going down the toilet. And it's just like, well, shoot, it's never going to be a good time. So they're buying the properties and they don't have any old mortgage to save. So I think that's one big reason why, new the entry level market is still strong, and I do think that there's more trouble for the more expensive properties. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
No, I think you've really nailed my thesis the last 6 months and likely to continue the next 6 months. If you take any market across the country and you figure out where the median is, right? It might be 200 where you are, it might be 400 where I invest, it might be 1,000,002 where I live. Anything that's above the median, and I call luxury 2x the median. So if your median is 200, it's anything above 400. If your median's 800, it's anything above 1.6. If you want to get a deal, you want to get 10, 20, 30% off, it's likely to be in a luxury home purchase.
Yeah.
I did this myself, right? I got 6 figures in savings. I got a mortgage rate buy down of 2%. I got closing cost credits because I was willing to negotiate on a luxury purchase. I have had people who follow me get three, four, $500,000 off luxury purchases. The luxury market is ice cold.
Mhm.
Inventory is stacking. Days on market is growing. And guess what? There are motivated sellers who have other opportunities to do with their funds, and they're making deals. So you're absolutely right. Then if you take that same line and you go below the median, and if you're 75% of the median, so for example, your median's 400 and you have a home that's clean at 300, you're not only selling that thing, but you're likely going to get multiple offers.
Mhm.
That's just the market we're in. And you're absolutely right. first-time home buyers aren't anchored on a 4% or 3% mortgage. They're anchored on, I got a new job, I'm leaving my mom's basement, I'm married, whatever it is. And what I'm really seeing is, dude, they're downsizing. Where they may have bought a home, now they're buying a townhouse. Let me give you data from Las Vegas. Las Vegas median home price is about 440-ish for single family homes. It's 300 or 310 for townhomes. Guess what happened last month? Single family homes price came down 5 grand. Townhomes set a record price. Right? So there's this thing in economics called switching costs. They're just switching from the single family to a townhouse. And entry level, clean entry level, bidding wars in so many markets, it's not even funny. I think you're right.
Yeah. And one thing I'll say too is like, you just mentioned how townhomes are in Vegas are a little higher. They're selling faster. Well, because they're probably cheaper. If you think about it,
100 grand
they're
cheaper,
probably cheaper.
140
Yeah.
grand cheaper. Yeah.
So it's more affordable. And so what has happened with housing over the past few years? Prices have skyrocketed. What's happened to people's incomes over the past so many years? Yes, nothing. So properties are costing way more and we're all not getting paid any more money at our jobs. So what is going to be, and this might be another topic for another time, but what is going to be the trend? The trend's going to be more people will be renting in the future. There will be less homeowners just because it's going to cost so much for them to buy a home. And if they're paying so much in rent, how are they ever going to save that chunk to qualify if their incomes aren't rising?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things, and we'll just hit it now. I think there's just one mathematical thing, and you've kind of hit it, but there's also something I hope happens. So mathematically, affordability is horrible. It is not the worst ever, but it is still horrible. It's in the top 5% of worst ever, but it's not the worst ever. 1981 was the worst. That said, because affordability is so bad, you are going to have more renters. You're going to have more roommate situations. It's mathematically going that way. But where I hope this goes is I hope we build smaller and more affordable homes. Homes, the last decade, the last 15 years, became really big, right? The McMansions, the extra this, the extra that. That costs money. So we've already seen builders on average 2023 versus 2019, so only 4 years, or maybe it was 2018, so 5 years, build smaller homes on a national level. And you can go follow Lance Lambert on Fortune at Twitter to see this. The average home is about 350 square feet smaller today than 2018. I hope they get to be 350 feet smaller yet, because if we build smaller homes, they're just simply cheaper. And that's one way you can get on the property ladder. Because I still think, you can look at all the charts you want. Owning assets is the way to get wealthy. And property ladder is a good way to get there. So I hope we build smaller homes. Casey, what do you think?
I mean, I want a bigger home, but I agree with you. I agree. If that makes money. So it's always about the money. And are the builders, are the city, are they making money from these properties? Like in my city where I live, there's no affordable housing. Now, since in the past few months, prices in my city where I live, I have now seen a couple homes under 300,000. It's like, something's in 200. Like, what happened? The cheapest house in the city was no less than 350 for a long time. The cheapest, dumb. And so we're seeing now homes under. And so anyway, so we also had a huge golf course get demolished, and builders are coming in building, and everyone's screaming, "We need affordable housing! We need affordable housing!" And where are all these baby boomers going to go? All of us baby boomers that want to downsize. We can't downsize because everything's so expensive. And the builders are like, "But I'm not going to make money making you affordable housing. Like, I need to make the most money possible. And so we're going to build these really expensive properties." So that's kind of what I'm saying. It's like, well, is that even an option, affordable housing? I think we're talking more like townhomes, packing them in, 0 lot lines, no square footage, no backyards. That might be the only way we can get affordable housing, because the builders want to make, highest and best use. They want to make the most money they can. They don't care about giving us affordable housing. So we want something cheaper. It's going to be smaller, no lot, no backyard.
Yeah,
I mean, we're going to
I
have
agree.
to give something up for that.
No, I agree. So at the end of the day, when you talk housing crash going forward in price, do you see one?
Really? I mean,
Oh,
the higher end homes, yes. Higher
yeah,
end, yes, because interest rates are so high. I mean, they're not bad, right?
yeah,
Historically, they're not bad, but for us, they're high,
yeah,
and nobody wants to move. Even next the million plus homes where I live that I'm always looking at all the time, the ones that are sitting are the ones that aren't perfect. The ones that are
yeah.
perfect are selling, and they're selling so fast because there's only like 30 houses in my city that are for sale, that
Mm,
are nice, that I look at, have my criteria.
yeah, yeah,
Um, it's I
yeah,
don't see a huge crash. I just don't, because there's just not enough. And there's always the people that will pay for it. There's still people
yeah.
that will pay.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, transactions are going lower, right? The bottom right now is 4.02 million for existing home sales. I think the bottom could be 375, 38. So that's going 5% lower. I think the median home price, again, median means middle, folks, is not going to fall. If you want a discount and you're lucky enough to be shopping in the luxury market, there's going to be some amazing deals done in the luxury market. Um, but entry level clean, sorry,
Yep.
demand greater than supply. And I don't see that changing. Casey, where can people find you?
People can find me every day on Instagram at Brick by Brick Wealth, on YouTube, Twitter, all the places. My website's all Brick by Brick Wealth.
Thank you so much.